This is the spot. At that time, I had my trainer, Mana, and we started out going on hikes on this very place. And this stretch here, I love this place, is where we started talking about faith. And this is where I started listening to him. I was a party animal. I'd come from San Francisco, just doing anything I could when I could, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I was doing all three as much as I could. I was getting up to go to work, and I had a stroke, 2 of them in a row, and I hit the floor, and I lost the function of my left leg and partial right arm, and I couldn't see out of that eye very well, and I ended up at the hospital, and I got out of the hospital in a walker and a cane and lots of medication, and the doctor says, get to a church and get to a gym or you're gonna die. And I decided, well, now's a good time. Let me go down here and see about getting into a gym. Met Mana Martin, a trainer there, and he seemed like a good guy, and I just liked something about him very much. And he says, I can take care of you. And I liked what was in his eye. I couldn't put my finger on it, but he had something about him that just says, yeah, this is the guy.
Seeing that he had a lot of health issues, and that if he continued the way he was going, and if he even went to the gym on his own, he probably wasn't going to be around that much longer.
This is one of the places that we started hiking, and he started talking about God, and I didn't know nothing about God, so I let him talk, and it all sounded good, and I just let him go. And pretty soon I started listening to him. I was pretty much open to it after a while, because he would not let go, like a little pit bull or something.
What struck him is that he saw that I had something that he didn't have, that he definitely didn't have, but that he wanted.
I told him to his face, I said, you got something that I want. And he looked at me and he says, it's the Holy Spirit. And I said, well, whatever it is, how do I get it? And he says, you got to have faith.
When he came into this relationship with Christ, it was really cool because I started to see that same thing in his eyes that he said that he could see in mine. Just this joy, just this peace that he had. And he just became this very likable person.
It's just sort of gradual type thing that I started noticing and thinking more, and as I continued my hikes, I felt a presence with me, a real presence, and I realized that I wasn't hiking alone. I had the Lord right there next to me hiking.
The single most thing that has changed in Mel is just his pure attitude towards life. When I met him, he was grouchy, he was pessimistic, kind of always looked on the bad side of life. What's the worst thing that can happen? And today, he's just someone that's very optimistic about life, and it's just full of joy.